people overspend on food in a way that groceries could either make or break your budget for other things that you need and even prevent you from savings because you're not doing it right. This is because of how fluid and how flexible spending money on groceries and on food items could be. Remember last week when I said that we have a good attitude to money and we have good habits to the use of money, and then we are able to control our finances? Well, grocery is one of the places where amazingly the wrong approach is taken. For example, we say things like, "It's food, I need it, let me buy it." Or, for example, when we overspending on food, and when we're making careless decisions to buy this and buy that, what do we say? When we wasting money on things we don't need to, we say, "I can't eat the money now. Let me buy the thing. I can't eat it. I can't eat the money." And I mean, this is something that reflects an attitude that really hurts our pocket. It allows us to continue overspending, and we justifying it with a bag of excuses. So yes, personal control over how we spend money on grocery shopping can indeed help you to save money and also to keep back a little bit in your pocket for other things that you may want to do.
Okay, so let's get practical. How can we go about saving money during the grocery shopping period without starving ourselves or depriving ourselves of some of the things that we think we need?
Well, I'll take you up on the word starve. Now, I mean, you say starve, and perhaps that brings to mind the first tip. When you're going grocery shopping, make sure you're not hungry. It's simpler, but not shopping when you're hungry helps you to stick to the list of the items that you have intended to buy when you went into the shop, and to save you from overspending. Now, have you noticed that the delis of most grocery stores are at the front of the store? The fresh baked goods shelves, all those products are right there in your nose, right there in your face when you're entering. Well, that's because surveys and studies have shown that grocery shoppers, tend to buy more at the store when they're hungry. And I mean, it's really true. The smell of this delicious things that are hitting you when you're hungry could just entice you to make a spend on some, "Hey, I want this. This smells nice. This looking good." And you're just grabbing and going and so on. Some of it you're eating right there, others of it, you're in your mind, you're buying it because, you're getting there hungry and you need to satisfy that thing. So that hunger button is pressed. And so the best way to handle that is to have something in your stomach, a little bit, before you go out to shop. If you can't have time to eat some food, well, take a glass or two of water and go in there. Because shopping when you're full helps you to fight the temptations against the mouth-watering smells that you hit at the grocery store.
So, like buying the groceries, when you walk into the grocery and you smell the pastries and the bread and you buy that one time, same time, is that what's called impulse shopping?
Correct. This is one of the ways in which impulse shopping shows up itself inside the grocery store. Now, to be clear, right, let's make sure everybody know what we're talking about. Impulse shopping is unplanned shopping. When you buy things you didn't mean to buy, even when you buy things you didn't want to buy, but you buy it in the moment in reaction to an external trigger, in reaction to something that stimulates you to buy it. For example, you see the desired or desirable item in the store window, you jump inside and get it. Oh, I want that. Or you see it marked sale or a red letter marked down, you're going to get it. You're triggered by that. Not so much that you're intended to buy it. So impulse shopping in our case of grocery shopping is when your hunger button gets pressed, or when your unplanned way of being in the supermarket just make you respond to everything you see that look good or look cheap, and you just buy it, not because you wanted to buy it. Now, to save on grocery shopping, really, it's important to avoid impulse spending, because this means you have to be intentional. The way in which you avoid impulse shopping is to be intentional. You avoid overspending when you're intentional. And there are three main ways in which you can do that. I suggest this. First of all, you decide how much money you're spending on grocery shopping in a month. That is key. You could break down this into small chunks, or you could use, but the first thing you must decide how much you're spending on grocery shopping. Let's take a little example. If we say, for example, you have 3 persons in the household or 4 persons in the household, the first thing you really need to do with your budget is to see, well, in my household, based on my diet, based on what we like to eat, based on the recipes we use and so on, I'll spend $200 per month on on, I'll spend $200 per person. So we say how much would each person really be fed in money terms for a month. So when you take that up, you say, okay, then we have 4 persons in a household. On average, you're going out between children. I mean, you have to do the thing practically, right? But I'm just giving it here ballpark. So you say $200 per month, you have 400 persons, right? So 4 to that $800 you want to spend in a month. If you say $400 on food, to make things easy, you break it down by week. So that means you're spending $200 each week. Now notice that your perishables, your tin stuff and so on, you will go to the grocery store once and you buy all that. And then after that, every week you buy the things you want on a weekly basis, you see? But you must know how much you're spending. But in this example, suppose you say that's $800, right? $800 you're going to spend. What you do is that you keep control of your money, because so that you actually, what you do, you just make a little sheet, the same envelope system we talk about, or a sheet of paper you hold in your wallet or in your purse, and you do something like this. You go groceries, and you go other. And what you're trying to do there is you're trying to break down how much you're going to spend, because you're planning. You want to make sure 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, that you keep in control of your money, you keep in control of what you spend in the grocery store. And you said you're going to spend $800, so that's $200 a week, 4 to 8. So that's $200 for each week. And you have that because that is your plan. That's how you plan to spend your money. And in addition to that, apart from the basic food in the groceries, you are going to be spending on other things, like a little ice cream here, a little, concourse for the kids there and so on. So you must have an intention as to what is the budget for that as well. So let's suppose you say that is going to be $80 per week. That's what it is. And that's what you try to stick to. If you don't have a plan like this, then you're really putting yourself out. And you could do it weekly, as I say, so that you don't have to be waiting for every month to finish as though you're a company. You're not a company. It's a business in that sense. So you want to make sure you don't overspend and you don't over budget. So if you went out to shop in the first week and you actually spent, let's say, the grocery, when you reach there, you finish, you spend, let's say, $160. What that means is that you have $40 left for that week. And you know that. You could add that. You could go to the restaurant at extra time, or you could buy the children an extra treat, but you plan and you have that. If you went to the grocery and you spend more than that, then that means you have less for this. Suppose you spend $240, so that means you only have $40 for this, yes? And so this is a little envelope system in its own way, and you can use that to help you to plan. So the first thing you need to do is to decide really how you want to spend, how much you want to spend on groceries, and because you know how much you want to spend on groceries, it makes it very much easier for you not to be impulse shopping, because you have your money controlled. The second and important thing to do to avoid impulse shopping is to decide when you're going to shop. Don't be shopping any old time. You must decide when you want to shop. You have a principal time when you shop for your bulk of your groceries, but every week you have one single time when you know that is the time that you're going to shop. That's important, because when you're shopping any old time, you need money to shop any old time, and therefore you're spending any old amount. And so you avoid impulse shopping by planning when you shop. You see this thing blossom that we do sometimes. You say, honey, pick up this when you're coming by that. Dear, pick up that for me, and so on. And this pick up thing, each of these pick up need some money to spend. And that is when you lose control of your money, because you're actually spending on your old time on anything that comes to mind, and you have no plan going on. And the third important thing I would say is decide what you will buy each time. It's related to the second one. So each time you're going to buy, you decide what you're going to buy. So again, for groceries, you write it down, back to the basic. And you actually don't operate by guess, because when you operate by guess, you give your money the opportunity to do what it wants. And what it wants is to walk out your pocket and to keep moving, to keep going. So these are some key points that we would do to control impulse spending and to be able to save, therefore, on your grocery shopping.
Let me throw in something. You gave me an example of budgeting week by week, but what about the people who grocery shop by the month? End of month, we buy, let's say, $400 groceries, and even during the month, we still, like you said, honey, pick up this and honey, pick up that.
Yes.
How can we manage that aspect of the grocery shopping, the month by month basis?
Right. So if you do the month by month, it means that your month shopping will take care of the things that you could buy once and you have it last for the whole month. Some people, for example, don't care about fresh meat every week. So they buy meat that you would need to cook 4 weekends and at least twice per week or so during the week. You buy all of that, and that means you have a deep freeze at home. So you put that at deep freeze, so you put that inside there, and you take out on the night before to thaw out, and that's how you go. But the important thing here then is that your list must have all those things that you will do once for the month, or perhaps twice for the month, because maybe you do 2 different grocery stores or something like that. But you have to plan it. The important thing is to know it. And in that blossom, we shouldn't be dogmatic, or we shouldn't be like a straight line or a train line. So we have to leave in the table that I gave a little extra. You have to leave room now for that which you cannot buy once for the whole month. So that, for example, fruits, you want fresh fruits. Some vegetables, you need them fresh. So you would want to buy them every weekend. And then the market people now are waiting for us to buy their goodies every weekend. So that is a portion of the money. So if you had $200 per person, it means that perhaps you are spending the perishables might cost $110, and $90 is what you spend. You're breaking up week by week to go. Although you spend $110 right through for the month already, that you have $90 that you spend week by week. That's every time you go to market. Yes, so that's how you would work it out for the monthly people.
From your point of view, which is more economical, week by week or month by month, or does it depend on your pocket?
It depends on how you get money, because remember what we're talking about is budgeting your money and using your money. If you get money fortnightly, it's good to organize your life fortnightly to the best you can. If you get money weekly, then it's good to organize your life weekly. So budgeting, however, month by month for goods that you can buy in bulk is much better, because usually you pay less for a larger amount. You know, bulk shopping, cash and carry, them kind of places like that. So that is better. And the things that you can't, then you buy it in singles, and you buy it as the week goes. Yes. So it really depends on your situation. Again, the important thing is to know. That's why I know a lot of people find value in discussing with a financial planner or a financial advisor, or even the banker. You know, the credit officers are trained and they can help, put in a little 2 pence here and there, And by the time we finish this course, Blossom, you'll be able to assess this series, this course. That's not custom put in courses. By the time we finish this series, you will be able to actually be a resource person to help out some people as well.
Yes, I'm learning a lot actually. So let me make sure I understand. When I'm going grocery shopping, be intentional. Target specific amounts to spend. Know what I'm going to buy. Write it down. And don't fall victim to impulse shopping. I have it?
Wonderful, you got it right there.
All right, okay.
I wish all my students were that sharp.
I should take a course. So in these days of technology, right now we have people not just using cash these days. We have a lot of people using cards, debit or credit cards. Does it make a difference? Can you save more money using a debit or a credit card compared to using cash when you're grocery shopping?
Okay, wonderful. Good question. What I would first do is to make sure we follow the debit and the credit card, because the credit card is different from the debit card. When you use a debit card, you actually paying out of your own money that is on your account. The debit card is like the regular ATM card, so to speak, and you are using your own money. So when you use a debit card, it's the same financial transaction as if you use cash. You're using your own money. When you use a credit card, what you are actually doing is you are borrowing money from whoever gave you the credit card. In order, whichever bank or financial institution gave you the credit card, you are borrowing money from them to pay for your groceries. And when you borrow money from them on that credit card, any money you borrow, you have to pay back interest on. So that is a different financial transaction from if you use your debit card. So having clarified the card thing, it means that we now need to know that we have a card that is a credit card, a card that is a debit card. Which one do I have in my hand that I'm using for grocery shopping? So when you pay with the credit card, you pay with money you borrow, and when you use your debit card, you pay with your own money. So that's about the cards.
All right. Well, that's good to have that clarification. So does that mean that you cannot save money when you're buying grocery with credit cards?
No, it doesn't mean that, and I'll explain. if you can control your own spending and your finances and you know how to use credit card, then you could save a lot with using credit card and you could actually benefit from using credit card. There are two key things I would say at this time. The one is that some credit cards have, for each payment you make using the credit card, you have rewards, you have cashback, you have travel miles and so on. Some of them have that. So what you need to do is make sure the type of card you're using has that. And that will be one benefit that you'll be able to get from using credit cards. Even it's a saving in its own way. The next important thing I'd like to say about that is that the way credit card repayments work, they work in cycles. So these cycles end at monthly intervals. So if you use your credit card to buy groceries this month, and then you repay the credit card the amount that you used to pay for your groceries this month, then interest does not kick in. So you would have done two things there. You would have borrowed money to buy the groceries, and you would have gotten cash back or mileage rewards and so on in that month. But because you repay it in that month, before the cycle finishes for that month, then you don't have interest and you have that same credit to use in the next month. So it's a great benefit you can say that you have. That's interesting because it means that if you really know how you're using your credit card, you can benefit from it. And the banks, nobody loses because, you know, there are also usage fees and all that goes around. But what you want to do is to be certain that with the credit card, you know how to use it and you use it wisely and properly. Two important things further that I might say. One is that make sure that the places that you're using your credit card to spend in, that they give rewards back and they're listed for cash back as well. And the second thing is that we go back to basics. You're using cards, whether the credit or the debit, make sure you have a target amount you want to spend. It's very easy for money to walk out your hand when you're using card. You're just swiping. You're not feeling those cash and seeing those bills walk out of your wallet. And then when you finish, the wallet more thin or the purse more flat than it was when you started. So when you're using card, it's easier to overspend. So you want to make sure that second important point, that you have your target amount, you know how much you're going to spend on the card, and do not spend more than that.
Okay, so it's when you're trying to control your spending grocery shopping, is it better to shop with cash or with the card?
In these days, the more card you have and the less cash, the better. For all the reasons that Governor Antwine and everybody will speak about. The more card and the less cash, the better. But there are instances where you need cash and where cash is better. But the real answer for our purpose today would be this: know thyself. You have to know yourself. You have to know what stage in the personal money management and personal finance journey you are. If, for example, you're in stage one, I will call it, where you're struggling with preparing a budget, you're struggling with impulse shopping, you don't really control yourself, how you spend and so on, you don't have time for that or you don't have the patience for it, then for you to control your money, cash is better. You put out a certain amount of cash which you're going to spend and you use that and no more. You don't want to touch cards, not even the debit card, because you have no control over yourself and over handling your monies. So that will be stage one. And I think few people might be there, but we want to make sure everybody get out of there because you have to handle your money. If you're half and half, stage two, like you could do a little bit of budgeting, but you don't really stick to it for the whole month, for everything, you don't use it and so on. You want to do something else. You want to do some of card and some of cash. And one of the ways in which you could build up yourself is to, when you go into the grocery store, you just stop by the ATM, you draw the amount of money you want to spend. You don't use your card in the grocery store, you use only the amount of money that you took out. So you do those practical things. When you do that, then the rest of the money is remaining on your account. You're able to save, you're able to put aside because you're not overspending out of impulse or out of just the ease of using cards. And I would say if you're at stage three, where you control your money, you use a budget, you have a family budget as well, you know where all the friends' money goes, you know where all the money for birthday gifts and things happening and so on, then you could use credit card. If you also understand about the cycle, that you're disciplined enough to make the payment, do the repayment, and so on. Now, about credit card, I should say that there are times when you do have to use credit card as a credit. So you have to borrow money because things get real hard. Like, for example, this COVID time, some people might have it real hard after all these months. So you do use your credit card to borrow, but you do so intentionally. Intentionally. You don't do so by ill discipline or by guessing or wondering.
Okay. And as we close off this morning's episode, Mr. Francis, any tips on how we can save money during the actual grocery shopping itself, during the actual process of walking the aisles?
Okay, I'll give you one or two anecdotes on that. So, see, we only have a few minutes. So, for example, one good tip is to shop alone. People don't really take this seriously, but shopping is not a social thing. Shopping is a thing where you're going to buy groceries for yourself and your family. You don't really need helpers. The more helpers you have is the more you have to spend. Pick up this, not there. Pick up this, not that. Mommy, I want too many helpers. And your friend, I bought this last week and last month, and you do real good, So you buy it too now. And helpers, it does actually lead you down the overspending route, right? Another tip is go to shop early. Some people like to shop in the evening time. Some people like to shop late Saturday before that. Listen, shopping in the morning, shopping early in the day, whatever time you get is good. One of the reasons is that studies have shown that you go early, you know that's what you have to do. You just go, you do it and you get out because you have other things to do in the rest of the day. So you don't really walk around wandering around the place because you have a lot of time. So that's one other tip. Another thing is in a good mood. When people like to shop at the end of the day, you finish work, you're tired and so on. When you're tired, you could really spend on a lot of junk, a lot of high carbohydrate food, and your mind just working away, a lot of chocolates and sweetie and so on. And people also like to shop, they say shopping is one of the escapes that people who get vex have. Vex shopping, grocery stores like vex shoppers because including among the things they buy cigarettes, they buy alcohol, all sorts of useless things. In fact, they buy more than that than they usually buy because of that, right? And so I would say the other tip is to make sure we mentioned it earlier, make sure you only buy the things that you need, because the things that you don't need are discretionary. And when you allow yourself to be spending money on discretionary things over and over again, you're actually not using your discretion to save. You're just allowing the money to use its discretion to have you spend it out. So be very careful about that as well. There's one important thing in grocery stores. A lot of stores and even village shop, they have their generic thing. You see when village shop break down certain things and they sell it in small pounds and so on, in the big grocery stores, they actually take the same thing that is in the brand name, bought packages, and they put it in a generic packet, and it's much cheaper. So you want to look for that. And one of the things about the cheaper things, as well as the things that are nearing expiry date and so on, is that you usually find them thing up on the top. You usually find the expensive thing up on the top, and so on. You find the expensive thing here at your eye level, but you find those other things either up on the top or down on the bottom. Fitzroy James, who used to be the manager of marketing MNIB in Grenada, told me one time, he said, when you go to the grocery store, make sure you go to the ends of the grocery store first, because in the ends of the grocery store, you always have the cheaper things. You always have the things that are fresh, like produce and so on. Whereas in the middle and where you could get to easier, you always have the fancy thing, the processed things and so on, and usually the more expensive things. So those are some small tips, not to take up too much of our time this morning, but those are some of the small tips that you can have. In the end, I would say, always remember, it is to try to be intentional, to know what amount you want to spend, to go out and spend that, try to spend no more. And while you would have planned that, you would have actually made sure that you have some funds away for savings that you do not now overspend on food.
And let me ask this too. What I usually do when I go to the grocery store, I take a running tally of what I've picked up, so I'm aware of how much I've spent and how much I have left. Is that a good tip to use?
That is an excellent tip to use. Now, some people complain that they don't want to have the list in their hand. Some people complain that they're kind of embarrassed. They don't want to. That is an excellent thing to do, because you see, that means you are only taking what you had planned to take in the beginning. So that is important. And in fact, when you use that list, Blossom, what you can do, if you took something, you just scratch off the one instead of which you have taken that thing. That is also a thing that you can use. But it's important, because that is what you mean by intentional. And this is what people who are able to save, even on a small income, do and become successful. And one day they really don't have to do it anymore, but they do it still, because by habit and also by experience, they know that that is the way you are able to keep control over your money. That's what this series is about, how to control your money. And here, Blossom, you are quite right. That is an excellent way to ensure that you keep control. It could be a list. Now, these days, it's not even that. These days, you can also work with this. You work with your cell phone, and you work with it for those two reasons. On your cell phone, in fact, if you had one like me, I'm a veteran shopper too, so you have a stylus. I don't know, you can see my stylus here. And you actually tick. You actually tick, as you go, because it's right here. You have it in your hand. And you also use this for your calculator. So you see, they say, you reach in there and you see a deal. You're not too sure if it's a deal. Hey, you pull up the thing here. This is that. Apps, you get your calculator apps. That's what is there. People don't want to do these things because they are ashamed, but the money is not ashamed. The money actually run away when you don't do these things. So yes, it's a good step. It's a good habit blossom to do, and you could add things like what I just showed you. As well, you could use the envelope that I showed you a little earlier on, because remember what that envelope does is that I have it looking like this now, but you could have a longer sheet of paper in which you are actually putting down your items there, and you have your $200 here, which you had worked out approximately should be. So as you're ticking off and you're getting, then you actually, this could be for the whole month, and you have one only for the week with the $200, and then what you are actually doing, this could be one for the week. And what you're actually doing is that as fast as you're spending, you're making sure you don't want to do item by item because you don't want it to be too tedious and so, yeah? Yeah. One last thing about shopping and saving money. You know, some people, when they get to the cashier, they realize that the thing come up to more than they actually planned to. And they embarrass in front of the cashier so that they don't say, no, well, I won't take this again, I won't put back this alone. The people who can't afford it, period, they put it back, because they have absolutely no money. That's what we do to save money ourselves. We assume, because we plan and we know how much we want to spend, when we get there, if by chance we overtook and we get to the cashier, don't be ashamed, because your money will not be ashamed. And when you need that same money you will be spending there, whatever you bought, which is a biscuit or the other piece of thing that you didn't need and so on, that would not save you, or it would not convert itself so that you can pay for the doctor, which is what the other money was for, as an example.
I appreciate that. I learned a lot this morning about grocery shopping. Mr. Francis, thank you so very much for the tips this morning. I would definitely be using them going forward.
And I imagine people have many more tips than we would have mentioned here this morning. The key thing is to be aware of them, to build a habit around paying attention to them, and being certain that you do not overspend or impulse spend when grocery shopping.
I would definitely use the tips. Appreciate it so very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next week, please the Lord, same time, same place. And next week, please the Lord, we're talking how to save on insurance.
That's right. Important. Very important.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Very well. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and to everyone else, bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. Enjoy yours as well. Financial consultant Tarlie Francis. It's a series, a collaboration between the Republic Bank and the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Tuesday morning, 7:15 a.m. We give you different tips on how to let your money work for you. Next week, please the Lord, how to save on insurance. Thank you again, Mr. Francis. And let's take a break. And when we come back, we have just enough time for Trivia Tuesday. I have an interesting one coming up. This is Good Morning Grenada on GBN Classic Hot 98.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
JBN
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It's 10 minutes to 8. Let's see how much time I have to do some Trivia Tuesday questions. Gonna give you a question and you're gonna see how well you have the knowledge, how much knowledge you have, and if you can answer the question. The question this morning deals with a plant, or some people call it a herb. Stop. It is not marijuana. I'll take it in front before I ask the question. It ain't marijuana. It ain't. 420. The question today, the question this morning is, this plant or herb contains an ingredient called carnosic acid that can protect the brain from stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia. It may also improve memory. This plant or this herb contains an ingredient that can protect the brain from stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia. It may also improve memory. What plant do you think it is? I repeat, it ain't marijuana. Landline number 435-2041. WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. You can also answer the question on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page. All right, now we are having a little bit of issue with the YouTube channel. Or I should say the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. However, you can also always check out the backup. The backup YouTube channel is called GBN Production. GBN Production. For those of you who usually join us on the YouTube platform, if you go on one and you don't see us on the Grenada Broadcasting Network, check GBN Production YouTube channel. Right, so let me go. This herb or plant has an ingredient that can protect the brain from stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia. It may also improve memory. Let me go. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
How you do?
I'm good.
What do you think the answer is?
Rosemary.
Rosemary. All right. Hold on to that one day still.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There we go. What do you think it is? This herb or plant can protect the brain from stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia, and may also improve memory. Let me see if anybody on WhatsApp has it. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on, Mr. Golden. Let me start over Mr. Golden in the dance. So try to time me up. Right. WhatsApp tells me rosemary, hibiscus, rosemary bush. The plant is rosemary, lemon balm. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to you, Blossom. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. What do you think the answer is?
Rosemary.
Why you feel it's rosemary?
Because I know it's good for the mind.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Hold on to that still.
Okay.
This plant or herb, which is not marijuana, I have to keep repeating it because this plant or herb contains an ingredient that can protect the brain from stroke, Alzheimer's disease, and dementia. It may also improve memory. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Auntie Blossom.
Miss Jacob, you know my man run on you for the whole week. How are you, Miss Jacob? I know the land NASA here. You walk on?
I think I was out last night, so I'm dead.
You sound very weak. Don't worry,
Rosemary. That's good for cold. If you have cough, you drink it and you put it in, I think those children just put on the clothes.
The
they
camphor?
Put on what they call it and you rub down your body with it. And that's good for pain too. Because I do use it, so I know it's rosemary.
Okay. No, we're going to use some now, okay?
Yes, Popo.
All right. Take care. Love.
Tell Mommy hello for me.
I shall do that.
Okay, sweetheart.
All right.
Love you, bye-bye.
I'm running on your whole week, Miss Jacob. All right, let me see. Facebook. Facebook says rosemary. Somebody else on Facebook says turmeric. Back on WhatsApp, somebody on WhatsApp says, we are reaching on WhatsApp again. Right. Somebody on WhatsApp says coconut oil. Hold on, stop. Go back. Somebody on WhatsApp says coconut oil. All right. 5 today, all right. Well, most of you are correct. We'll make sure. Is most. Yes, most of you are correct. The answer is rosemary. All you nothing, man. All you looking so, but all you nothing. The correct answer is rosemary. It contains an ingredient called carnosic acid that can protect the brain from stroke and Alzheimer's disease and dementia, and it may also improve memory. The answer is rosemary. So those of you who have a little bush like myself outside, it has many benefits for you. There are various ways to do it. Some of the recipes call for drawing it in a cup of water. Others call for mortar and pestle and putting it in a cloth. It depends on what you may need it for. Do your research according to the pain or ailment that you may have. Do your research and see which is the best method of the plant to use for whatever your sickness or your illness may be. All right? So check. Miss you. Somebody on the WhatsApp that, Lord, miss you all still didn't get all the prizes yet? The person gonna know what I'm talking about. This thing hurting my feelings. I'll double check again for maybe what? This will be maybe 6th or the 7th time. I will double check with the folks. To all the folks who have not received their prizes from the March 13th quiz, I am not sure what the holdup is. What happened was there was a collaboration with the March 13th committee, and the list of winners with their contact information and t-shirt size was forwarded to members of the committee, or a member of the committee, and that was since it was the 13th, so that was the 12th, which was the final day of the quiz. So since the 12th of March, the list has been forwarded. I will double check again. This will probably be the 6th or 7th time to find out what the holdup is. I'm not sure if it's some received their prizes and others didn't, or nobody received. I'm not too sure. I will double check again, because it hurting my feelings, because it's me that looking bad, me that give it away, so people asking me. So I will double check where those t-shirts are. My apologies for those of you who have not received your t-shirts in time to wear it on the day. Hopefully you can wear it 2022, God's willing. But I will double check. All right, let's get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. It is now 1.5 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for tuning into Good Morning Grenada. We prepare for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's a good day to have a good day. Be safe, be cautious, be COVID-19 smart, be ashfall smart, be Sahara dust smart. Real things on the outside. So set up yourself right and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Bye everybody. Remember, coming up at 9, Bassanio Nicholas will be the guest on To The Point. Tune in and hear what he has planned for St. George Southeast constituency, which is where he intends to run come the next elections. Bye everybody.